Hello, good morning. I'm wondering if my is actually this microphone in sync with the video. I have to test that. This is really tricky when you don't have like a USB microphone and you want it to like sync up. Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, we don't have that much time today. I was booked for a meeting at like 9:30, which is like way too early. Danny, if you ever watch this, 9:30, that's too early. Gotta do my stream, you know. Anyways, so we're going to try to implement this feature where if you unfocus during a dirty Excalidraw, we're going to put you in a specific state for that. And if you like unfocus, like move away from the visibility tab, sorry, when you move away from the tab, causing the visibility API to trigger, and it's not dirty, that's a different state. So, but first we want to like expose this possibility from the environment. So we've been calling it on reopen, but I think we rather want to be a bit more concrete, like when does it toggle being opened or not? And I'm not sure how to like generically name that. I guess we can just use on visibility. Visibility change. Yes. And then on visibility change. Yeah, and the type for this on visibility change. And then we want to get like visible true or false there. That's what we want. Let's see, let's fix this. And we're going to do this in a test-driven way. And the callback here. Yeah, so subscriptions should take that thing and then true, else, well, I guess we want to trigger them anyways. So we're just going to do this. Let's see. Okay, so whenever there's a visibility change, we trigger these subscriptions. Like it's just one, but doesn't matter. And then we're all good. On visibility change, and then in our actually, oh sorry. Okay, cool. So now we have this on visibility change, and we need to define it for our test environment as well. Where we're going to change it a little bit here as well, since we're now actually, so when we trigger it, we want to say, oops. So this is for mocking, right? So we added a trigger method to, or a function to the on visibility change, so that we can manually trigger it on and off to do testing. So now we want our trigger visible, and again visible, and we need to, oh, it doesn't understand that. Okay, but that's okay. Like it's difficult to, like if you create a type for a function and you extend the properties of that function. On visibility chain. What's this complaint? Oh, I don't think, do we actually need to type this? Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can do this a little bit differently. So there we go. Maybe we don't even need this one now. Yeah, nice. Okay, I typed it on the wrong place. Maybe we can even do this. Type mocked on visibility change. And this is what we're creating. Mocked on visibility changed. And this basically just allows us to trigger it manually for testing purposes. So now we have exposed from the environment what the application needs when it's in like production and when it's on test. So the reason I'm calling it production instead of browser is that I'm thinking that this approach could also be used so we could have like development, meaning that as you're building up the application, like maybe some API endpoints isn't ready, maybe you don't really care about the outside environment, you just want some mock data, and then you could have like development, which makes it even easier to like work locally, and then you will kind of change to production at some point to properly test it. But yeah, it's just a thought. I would have to explore that. Anyways, so we have our environment now, we have the thing ready, and let's add Excalidraw test tsx. Let's just copy this thing, and that's how I do it. Oh, by the way, I had a horrible evening last night. We're trying, like, our baby doesn't sleep that well at night, and with our first kid we split the responsibility. It was like a 50-50 thing, and both of us was helping out and kind of doing everything, and we kind of had our twists on dealing with the baby, but like we were just giving each other tips basically, but we were winging it on our own terms. But now, since we have a kid from before, we've kind of split up the responsibilities, because we can't have two tired parents taking care of like one existing kid and then like the new one. It just won't work. So like my girlfriend is taking care of the baby at night, but the baby hasn't been sleeping, so my girlfriend is like going crazy, which is completely understandable. And then I kind of have to dive in and try to help her, but it's like completely out of routine. I have like no experience, and it just goes flat on its face. Like the baby just doesn't stop crying, trying to put it to bed, and then it all breaks down. Yeah, and it's so insanely frustrating. And you feel like shit, like you want to help your child fall asleep, but you just can't. I just hate that stuff. Like it's nice having a baby. There's a lot of good moments, but I guess each age has its worst and its best. But like having a 4-month-old, the worst is sleeping at night. That's definitely the worst part. Anyway, sorry, I just had to talk about it. So we are going to test our Excalidraw, and we're going to try something here. Let's see. We're going to test something. So this thing doesn't need a router mock, but it needs storage. Did I create a test storage? No, we have to create that as well. Yeah, okay, let's see how far we get there, because we don't need auth, I think. Let's see, what does the Excalidraw provider use? It uses storage and the create Excalidraw image. Okay, so we need create Excalidraw image and we need storage. And this one's simple. We can just new blob. I think that's possible to do. Yeah. So that's the mock for create Excalidraw image is, well, I guess it's async new blob. Perfect. But then we have storage. Yeah, by the way, create Excalidraw image. There we go. Let's have the type there. And then let's create storage. And this one's a little bit more Yeah, create storage mock. Did I call it create? Yeah. I guess I could do like create Excalidraw image mock here as well, but it's doesn't matter. Like we're never going to manipulate anything there. But in terms of the storage, we probably want to be able to like manipulate what the returned stuff is. So what we're going to do here is return, let's see, storage, Excalidraw storage. We need create Excalidraw, get Excalidraw, get previews. We need save Excalidraw and save image. Okay, so save image takes user ID and image. In this case, we don't really care about anything. Can I do this? Async? Yeah. So that's not going to do anything. That's not going to do anything either. At least not for now. We can extend that. Get previews. Yeah, this needs to actually return. What does it return? Promise of Excalidraw metadata. Okay, so we can have, I'm thinking like we can pass in some data here. So we can pass in like metadata. And then, wait, we can rather do data. And then that can be ID string. We have metadata. And data. Okay, cool. So we pass in this data. So if we were to like create an Excalidraw here, we would do, this is user ID. Oh yeah, I guess we have to user ID string like that. We would have to say, well, I guess we can just mutate the data. Yeah, let's just do that. Data, user ID. I don't think we expect anything back there, do we? What's the, oh my god, I've forgotten. How do you do, oh, date now. Oh, completely forgot. Data would be app state, elements, version, elements would be empty array, wouldn't it? Oh. What? An element. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Metadata. And this would be author. I guess user ID. That's something I have to change ID, and then last updated. And this is actually, is this a date? Yeah. New date. Okay, what does this actually expect back? It expects back the string. And then we have get Excalidraw, user ID, ID. And this should return, so let's make that async as well. That should user ID, ID. And get previews returns Excalidraw metadata. So basically what this returns is object.keys data, and we reduce that. This will be user, oh yeah, data, user ID. I guess we get user ID here. And what we do is we just take this and we concat data user ID. And this will be ID, metadata. There we go. Okay, so we have mocked out our storage. So let's return that. As I said, we're just mutating the passed-in data, and I don't think that really matters because you create a new one for every test anyways. Maybe it's not a good idea, but I don't care. Cool. And then we have our Excalidraw provider. So we need to set like a user ID 123 Excalidraw, well, ID 456. We have to kind of give it user ID. ID would be ID. So now we have that, and then we can storage would be create storage mock, and we don't have any data there. And now we have the storage. Okay, this is pretty awesome. Like you're writing quite a bit of code there. We're not actually implementing anything, but I'm like testing this process. Like I mentioned at Code Sandbox, we're on a hunt for an architecture that we can that covers certain things we want to do, and we also want to really test our application logic. And what I really like about this is that we're putting the environment outside of the application logic. That's not something we actually test. Well, it depends. If that environment thing is something we built, of course we have tests for that, but we don't test it in the application itself. It's considered environment, and we have to trust the environment, or at least not write tests for the environment in the app. It doesn't make any sense. And what that means is that all these features, the test is just to check what's the state. What state does this feature end up in when I do this stuff? Which is pretty awesome. Anyway, so we have our storage here. And yeah, I guess we need user ID. At least we need this one. App state, elements, version 0, then metadata would be ID, author would be user ID, and then last updated. Yeah, so we actually have the thing. Cool. So now we should basically get that thing running, and what we want to do now, let's see if we can figure this out. Maybe we should just try to write a test first. Unexpected token. No, please don't say that you're having issues with oh, for fuck's sake. I am trying to make React states as simple as possible. So currently now I'm only building the ES version. And for fuck's sake. But of course, yeah, I don't need this one. This didn't actually work. But now when I run in Node, of course that doesn't work. Because in Node it needs to be CommonJS. Isn't that amazing? So it means that either we have to configure this so that it actually builds React states. Oh, for fuck's sake. How do we? Or we bring back the CommonJS build, but we put that behind. So we build the ES directly to the package, like to the root, and then we have this CGS folder or something that represents the CommonJS version. Yeah, okay, let's try to fix that. Okay, so we're not getting this done for sure. But let's see here. So we have main. Okay, so module is ES. And then main. Okay, so main is the CommonJS thing. I'm not sure why I have roll up here. Oh, DTS bundle. Yeah, we can remove. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're going to build that stuff directly to the trash, and then yeah, let's remove roll up and all that stuff. Don't I have a package JSON file here? Hello, where are you, package? Did I delete the package JSON file? What the fuck? How did that happen? I didn't delete anything else, did I? No. Okay. Oh, wow, that was weird. Did I actually do that? Blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't want to mess around with this setup. Well, I'm not using rollup for anything. At least I can remove rollup. And then in the package JSON, we have main, which would then be CGS. Like that. So now we still have the types in the root, which makes sure that when you do imports, it doesn't try to import from like /CJS in this case. That was a problem in the previous version because the types was pointing to the lib folder, but the bundler was actually bundling from the ES folder. So when you did like an auto import in VS Code, it was the wrong version. Like you had two versions of the library. Like this is such a mess. It's crazy. Okay, but I think we can just do this. And then we need to ignore CJS. Let's just try to build it now. See what happens. So what's a little bit messy is when you build it locally, you see that it adds a bunch of files here, but at least they're ignored. And then Did it create a CJS folder? Oh. Yeah, we also need to clean DevTools CJS. Is this working? Yeah, okay, and now we got the CJS folder with the stuff. And I think that should be it. Okay, did I change the version? Yeah. Git status. Add CJS bundle. So by default, it's considered an ES library. But like if you're going to do Node stuff, that's like secondary. And in Node anyways, you don't really have like in terms of typing, I think we're okay. Well, we'll see. Let's try to publish this and then we'll see. But this is so tricky. Like building libraries, it's insane. And I'm so sick and tired of it. You never get control of, like, just for me, I wanted to use MobX for a project. I wasn't able to use it because they reference their source code in the package. And then for some reason, the build tool I was using, of course, they have these special environment variables inside the source code, and it wasn't able to, like, that didn't exist in my build, right? So it suddenly gave errors, and I had to manually go in and remove the. It's just a complete mess, everything. I hate it. So one of the things, like my hidden agenda with Code Sandbox, is to create like a template. So if you want to create a library, you can just go to Code Sandbox, click a button, create library, everything's set up for you. You don't have to think about any of this stuff, you just create your library. Okay, so let's yarn add React states latest. Let's see if it's more happy now. Oh, did I forget to add CJS? No, I remember to do that. Okay, let's see what happens now. Does this still work? That seems to work. And if I were to try to import use DevTools, can I see where is it trying to import it from? Oh. Use DevTools. Yeah, and it imports it from the right place. Good. And now the big test is, what if I run the test and it doesn't work? Thank you. Why doesn't it work? Oh, because it imports dev. It's the DevTools. Because it's being imported from here. And this is just, it's so messed up. It's completely messed up. How the fuck are you supposed to, like, how are we going to innovate when we have such a hard time just putting code out there for other people to use? It's just insane. It's just fucking insane. Like, the problem now is that I have this subfolder called DevTools, and since I want my library to be like ES first, when we point to this folder, like if you see here, where are you? React states. If I point to this folder now, it's looking at this thing, right? And it does that in both the ES version and in the CommonJS version. So what we have to do is we have to add a package.json file to this DevTools folder. Like, we can try it now and see if it works. This is complete nonsense. React states, DevTools, and then we have to say like main. Oh, by the way, that's over here. DevTools, and then was it ES? No, module. Well, that happens to be right here. And then typings is also right here. And then it's supposed to be private true. Cannot find module. Okay, let's try to run it again, see what happens. Cannot find module states item. Why can't you find that? Oh, where is everything? Where's the rest? Didn't it build it? Oh, I've seen this before. I have seen this before. Like, it just doesn't include all the files for some insane reason. Okay, so we have to change our... Oh, I have a meeting soon. So we have to include... Can I do a not DevTools package.json? Can I do that? Does that work? How am I going to deal with this? And what the fuck happened here? Like, again, like, why the fuck isn't my... Why didn't it put all the files in there? Like, it built the whole thing, but for some reason it just didn't include it. This is the shit we have to deal with. God damn it. I'm not in a good mood. But this is just fucked up. How the hell am I going to fix this? I have to add a package.json file to this thing. Let me just get out. I just want to see if this actually works first. It still doesn't work. Why is this import? Didn't I build this for... I built CommonJS. Why isn't it CommonJS? Huh? Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong folder. Sorry. My bad. My bad. And what did I do? Oh, God damn it. I'm so confused by this. But still, why didn't it include everything? Still something wrong there for sure. Okay, but at least this works. The thing I need to find a way to include a package.json file inside my DevTools folder, and I don't want to git ignore that. I want to ignore everything except package.json. So can I do this? Yeah. And then, okay, this is good. But we still have another problem. So we do name React states DevTools private true main CJS DevTools index module would be this index, typing types would be index DTS. Okay, so this is what we want, but we are running rimref on this thing. So whenever we clean out the whole DevTools folder. Rimref delete all but one file. Okay, I don't want to, or do I? Okay, not. Let's see if this works. Let me just copy the contents of that package.json file. Okay, that didn't work. Isn't that weird? That was invalid syntax. Something like this should work. Do they have the globe for that? It's supposed to be, oh, not. Can I do this? No. Can I do this? Interesting. Oh, fuck, what happened now? Well, it sure didn't work. And we still have all the other files there. Oops. Maybe I can do like something like that. No. Ah, fuck. How do I express this? Does anyone know? Or do I have to like do it here? Maybe that's how I do it. Oh, interesting. No, that didn't work either. That doesn't work. Oh, global is supposed to be globe. This is what I did. Oh, that's okay. I can't figure this out. I have to be able to. Okay, so if I do. Okay, this is interesting. So if I do, yeah, I can do the opposite. Oh, pattern list. Can do this. That doesn't work. Fix it. Okay. And map. This is probably not the best way to do it, but I don't care. Okay, so now we have our npm run build. We got our ES back with our package JSON, and all is good in the world. Okay, good. I just want to try one more thing. Oh, fuck it. Fuck it. I have no idea how to do that. Okay, cool. Okay, I have to jump into that meeting. I'll see you tomorrow and we'll continue on the actual app. Like, this was just a complete mess. Sorry about that. But yeah, at least you see how library authors genuinely feel the pain of our freaking horrible mess of a ecosystem. Like, not to blame anyone, it kind of has to be this way, and there are a lot of smart people trying to make it better. But yeah, it's painful, very painful. Okay, bye for now.